well, let me segue into not being a big fan of someone. The New York Football Giants, over under 6.5, over plus 122, under minus 150. So, first of all, the Giants' O-line was a clown car lit on fire, then pushed off of a cliff. And then, if that wasn't enough, detonated because it was packed with C4. Total disaster. Giants give up 85 sacks last year.
Second most all time.
As bad as Daniel Jones is, losing him, you're not better. Tommy DeVito, Tyrod Taylor. You had coaching issues where Brian Daboll and Wink Martindale hated each other. Wink is basically a one-trick pony. He's going to pressure and blitz and blitz and blitz and blitz. Giants really didn't have the personnel for it. Offense, didn't have a lot of difference makers. All right, so I bring you to this year. Now, the O-line, they've made major improvements. They have.
You think so?
First of all, year 1 to 2, John Michael Schmitz at center is a really good player.
I like him.
Andrew Thomas, an all-pro left tackle.
Truth.
They go out and get John Runyon Jr. and Aluminor. You have most of it settled. If Evan Neal was any fucking good, I'd have a high degree of confidence. But let's just say the Giants' O-line is a hell of a lot better than 85 sacks. Start there. 2, I don't care about Saquon Barkley. I don't pay running backs. We have this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they impact winning. You get Devin Singletary, he forces a ton of missed tackles.
Knows the system, knows the scheme.
And you're getting rave reviews on this Tracy kid they drafted out of Purdue, that he's a real bolt of lightning in that backfield.
Kind of a scat back.
Wide receivers. All right, now this is where it gets tricky. I don't want to put a ton of faith in a rookie. But in the limited amount you've seen Malik Neighbors, he looks really good.
Yep.
And if he's the guy, that means Jalen Hyatt can be the deep threat he was meant to be. It means Slayton can be the 3 that he's meant to be. It means Wan'Dale Robinson can be the trinket piece he's meant to be. Look, I think they'll be better. Defense is where I have a little more faith.
Me too.
Up front, the Giants will be a pain in the ass for people. You have Dexter Lawrence, who's the highest graded D tackle in football. He destroyed Aaron Donald's grade last year. You're going to have Kayvon Thibodeau, and you're going to have Brian Burns. That's a real problem for teams. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I love this defense, but Shane Bowen over Wink Martindale, I love what he did in Tennessee. They're not going to let you run the football. That's a Shane Bowen calling card. They got the edge rushers to force you into passing downs, and we got to hold our fucking breath that somebody in the back four can cover a soul.
So are you...
I'm leaning over.
I was going to say, the Giants aren't the worst team in this division?
No. I like that I'm getting positive odds. And here's the thing. I think a lot of this bet, you're going to know week 1. The New York Giants in a pick'em against the Minnesota Vikings. You lose to Sam Darnold, you're not winning 7 games. I think the Giants win that home game, beat the Vikings, and get out and go. I think the Giants are a very interesting 7-10 football team. And they'll fuck me because they won't be bad enough for me to get Carson Beck or anyone I care about in the draft, and we'll just keep on keeping on. Over 6.5 for the G-men, plus 122.
So I like the point about the D-line. It's undeniable.
Right,
it's a
and it
really
travels,
good D-line.
right?
And yeah, exactly. It'll keep you in a lot of games, force a turnover, maybe win you a game or 2. Is Daniel Jones the quarterback of a 7-win team?
Yeah.
Listen, I know they made the playoffs a couple years ago, but I'm asking you,
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
I think this is the best O-line he will have played behind.
Okay.
That's not saying much. I'm just saying.
I just have a hard time betting on Daniel Jones.
I know, and I do too.
And that's kind of where I pause.
But here's the key. Look at how it's structured here. Are you confident enough to pay $1.50 on a dollar for them to go 6-11?
No.
I almost feel
the only way to bet them is the over.
Yeah,
but I don't feel the confidence in it.
Part of my theme with what we're going to do with the NFL is market correction. I think narratives, you get too high on certain teams or too low on others. I'm going to shock you with a pick I make later in the week. You're going to be like, Mike, no, don't do this. I just believe the Giants can bounce back in heavy quotations.
Yeah, not to a winning record.
No.
Not to a playoff spot.
But I think they've got too much talent on the roster to go 5-12, 6-11. And I think they beat the Vikings in week 1, and that's going to be a big help getting them where they got to go.
Becomes a tone setter. Daboll job security update. Where are we at with that? What does he have to do to keep his job?
Oh, if they're not flirting with the playoffs, I think he's in real trouble. And he should be, especially for his performance in Hard Knocks.
Okay. Blame game on this, though. Is Daniel Jones his quarterback, or is he given Daniel Jones?
No, he's given Daniel Jones.
Right. So if I'm an offensive coach, and I mean, listen, maybe his beard's worth an extra win, but he's still Daniel Jones. If I'm him, I'm going, I'd like the chance to get another quarterback in here. It doesn't mean he's going to get it.
Yeah, but
if it goes south, that would be his pitch would be.
They don't have the option to tank.
Okay.
They don't. Jim.
And if they tank, then you lose the locker room, and then you're going to replace the coach anyway.
Yeah, no,
so he's in a sticky spot. His wagon is hitched to Daniel Jones.
And they're all in. They have to be all in.
Well, I know the GM has said, like, we have to figure it out if he's the guy or not.
Yeah, and I'm banking on being good at the line of scrimmage. I'm going to bank on an improvement, both sides of the ball, a defensive line that should be a real separator and a difference maker most weeks. I think over plus 122 is interesting.
Well, I actually think if you like the Giants over, you also have to like the Commanders under, right? Because someone's got to be dead
there's
last.
A corollary there.
And you're probably going to have to beat them at least once, if not twice, to hit the over.
Part of my view, just so I'm consistent with you and the listeners, not high on Philly, not high on Dallas, not high on Washington. You got to buy somebody.
You can't buy all four,
right?
And you can't sell all four.
Look, this will be the theme in the North.
Okay,
I'm up on 3 teams and down on 1. Therefore, I'm taking the under on the 1 team.